You think these are serial murders?
I don't know. First one I found dates back to the 60s.
The only link between all these cases is the symbol.
The symbol is associated with a pagan deity named Bagul. He consumes the souls of human children.
I have never been onto something this big before.
Early Christians believed that Bagul actually lived in the images themselves and that they were gateways into his realm.
Sinister. But you know, is it just me, or in movies now are white people actually looking for trouble? I mean, you know, before they kind of went to a, yeah, you are. Yeah, before you just kind of went to a house and you hung out and the ghost showed up and it just took you a while to leave. But now you like, fuck it, honey, we're not moving in this house unless there is a ghost.
You know what, man? You said it like it's a bad thing, but that's one of the things I had to pat Carlisle on the back for, was the fact that most of the time you have white people who are just stupid. They're like, well, let's check it out. But here you have a guy who is dedicated to doing something stupid. I mean, he has a good reason why he's doing the complete opposite of what any normal or black person would do.
Hey, look, I'm sorry, but that's still stupid in my book. All right? Stupid is stupid.
No, I'm not saying it's not stupid. It's just that, like, he has like a dedicated reason for it. It's like, okay,
it's not frustrating to watch.
No, it's not. No, no. I mean, granted, he does when he goes to the real estate agent. He says, "Now, do people die in this house? because if they didn't, we don't want it." You know,
talking about
actually, in his case, that's exactly what he did, because he's a true crime novelist, and he's down on his luck. He wrote like one really great book that was a long time ago. He's starting to flounder in his career, and it's like, okay, here's a house that's available. This family died in it. I'm going to go in. I'm going to research. I'm going to write this book there. It's going to be the greatest book anyone's ever read. I'm going to pick my career right back up. So it's like, yeah, he's in a desperate situation, so it gives him motivation for not just taking off at the front door when shit starts hitting the fan.
Oh, and by the way, I'm not going to tell my family about this at all.
No. That's the thing. That's that. We have to clarify the fact that his desperate situation is a quote unquote desperate situation. He's putting himself in that. He has his own mind. Like, I gotta be famous again. Like that's his desperation. It ain't out of no special need that he has. He's just a greedy motherfucker.
Yeah. That's what it is. I like the way he tries to say, "I'm doing this for my family." Like, no, man, you trying to get back in that limelight.
Trying to get that spotlight.
Yeah. That is what Brian just set up right here. Ladies and gentlemen, Brian.
Once again,
hello. Token white guy in the horror movie. Hello.
He'll be answering all our dumb white guy questions.
Yeah, Brian, explain to us the philosophy of going into a house where you know people have been murdered. Especially, I love like the real estate agent would have been like, "Well, I have to tell you that someone was killed here." Oh, good, because if they hadn't, the deal was off.
Yeah.
But you get the sheriff who comes on, you go like, man, this fucking asshole sheriff, he's like Brian Dennehy and First Blood, just giving him a hard time until you find out what's going on. You're like, oh, well, shit.
Because what you find out was happening, like you said, I mean, this guy just he pretty much has a tendency to go and exploit murders, horrendous murders of families. Now, in this particular case, his investigation of this murder where this whole family hung themselves at this home, he goes up into the attic and he starts to find Super 8 films. Not only of this particular murder, but of several gruesome murders that occur.
Wait, did you say 2976, like 2976?
Yeah, why? Does that mean something to you?
No, it doesn't. No, thank you, Deputy. Before the Stevensons moved here, they lived where the Miller family murders happened. Holy shit.
And just gets wrapped up into it. Of course, when he starts watching these movies, which he chooses to watch in the dark a lot. There's always some noise behind him.
during the witching hour. It's like it's the only time you can.
It just makes it easier to masturbate. Okay, leave the guy alone.
Ooh, come on, give me the money shot. but So as he's watching these movies, that we know now, maybe it's not getting through his thick ass head, but we know that there's something unearthly, otherworldly that's happening as he continues to watch these films. And that is one of the things that I really did enjoy about this movie, is that these movies, these Super 8 films, the fact that they're on Super 8, already is just kind of adds a creepy atmosphere to them.
Yeah, because who keeps those?
Yeah, and especially when you
It's like, really, you couldn't get that transferred to DVD?
Yeah, you
Or
can't take that shit to Walgreens.
VHS or something?
Well, one of the scary things about it is that somebody was still using Super 8 back in the 90s when you could have got a video camera. So, yeah.
I was like, are you sure hipsters didn't live in that fucking house?
Yeah.
You know, that's actually what I find interesting about this movie is like we've had all these films before that have been like first person, and we've come up with kind of this nebulous term of found footage to describe any movie that's first person perspective. But this is an actual found footage movie because the motherfucker finds footage in his attic. So it's like the first and only real found footage movie.
Honestly, at that point, I expected him to like slowly look at the camera and wink, go, ting, get it?
Found footage. Well, I have to give the movie credit for actually creating a found footage film without having to go the average found footage
It's
route.
a bit of a cheat.
Well, but it's without the gimmick.
It is.
It's without the gimmick of the shaky camera and why wouldn't you put it down? Of course, in this case, why wouldn't you get the fuck out of the house?
Yeah, still, at this point.
Because he's white. That's why.
And it's also, I was surprised how when I noticed that, oh God, this guy just found his footage, all this, Super 8. Oh, he's gonna make me and the rest of the people in this audience watch it. Oh fuck! And you're just waiting. Okay, when is this gonna start to go in that?
You thought your grandmother's home movies were bad.
Yeah, it's like, hey, motherfucker, let's switch something out. Do you got Three Stooges in there or something? This is
Bar mitzvah!
the real horror comes in. Yeah,
And it's funny because it's the first film festival where you would want to see somebody's home movies.
yeah.
Like, hey, man, you got a birthday party?
Yeah, some.
Oh, they have a party.
Oh, yeah. It just,
Cartoons up in this.
no, it's while he's watching these movies, there's some figure in the background that keeps showing up, and that's what I liked about the creepy atmosphere here, and as it kind of played along. I mean, it's a movie that actually reveals as a mystery would. It works well as a mystery. I mean, it's not just in there to just. It's not in there for the scares. There's a gradual reveal. Now, like I said, along that gradual reveal, Leon, you and I would have been the fuck out of there. Even the ghost from Paranormal Activity came up and said, "Man, this is too easy, man." Hey, Sinister, you go ahead and take care of this one, man.
You take over this franchise.
You knew on the
already.
scene, I've done this shit before. I can tell you, this is a waste of my time. But you don't have fun with this.
They're making me do this shit again.
I like that. I think, it's also this slow reveal that I think also is kind of what ruins the pacing for me. That I felt that there were moments where, man, this is really creepy finding out what's happening, and I anticipated every new movie that he would pull out, Ethan Hawke's character, because once you learn what the double meaning, the double entendre of the titles of these films are, you start to think, oh, Jesus, okay, what does that mean? Like the first one is hanging out with the family. Family literally is hanging out, and they got another one that says barbecue, and you're looking at that like, oh, God, man. What's
Did Freddy Krueger title these?
or Brian Salisbury. These are awful puns.
I know.
but they do give you some sort of anticipation. However, when they're not doing that, I thought that it was a little bit slow in certain parts. I will say that there are moments where there's a lot of great dialogue that comes in and kind of picks things up. What was the deputy's name? What was the actor of the deputy? Deputy so and so. There's
Deputy Dog.
Yeah, deputy. No, the police department. You were right, Leon. The police department. They know what this guy's doing. They know that he exploits these situations for his own fame and fortune. And there's a sheriff that shows up who's Fred Dalton Thompson is the guy that played it. The movie opens up with a great scene with Ethan Hawke and his sheriff. That sheriff he's like, first he gets out the car and he sees two of his guys over there like waiting for autographs. He's like, get the fuck out of here, waiting on it.
Right.
Hey, you, Ethan Hawke, come here. And he pretty much just tongue lashes his guy.
Yeah, he's just like, I don't appreciate this shit.
Yeah, right off the bat.
Yeah.
And you understand why, because this guy has pretty much written books about how these cops were pretty much incompetent. I mean, that's why they have this tremendous grudge against
it's somebody coming into your small town and just unearthing all this dirt and pulling out skeletons and dirty laundry. It's like, look, man, it took us a long time to get over this. The last thing we need is you coming here stirring shit up just to pump you up.
But it's that aspect of the movie that I'm glad they played into that. I mean, because like it does make you think, okay, is this something supernatural or is there something else very real going on? Like, is there somebody fucking around with this guy?
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed that they played that. But when it gets towards the end, I wasn't too crazy about the route they took.
Okay, see, that's what I was going to say. I think the movie's strength, it works in these creepy images, this creepy atmosphere they set up, and spots of very humorous dialogue. I mean, the part where the sheriff comes in and says, "Hey, get the fuck out." That's kind of funny. And the sheriff, not the sheriff, but the deputy, James Ransom, is this deputy that he's written well, because you think that he's going to be played as just a kind of a dumb sidekick because he wants to come in and help Ethan Hawke.
Yeah, he's a fanboy.
Yeah, he is a fanboy. It's like, hey man, and acknowledgement. You got all these guys. You think, hey, I can be that guy, and I can be a man on the inside. I can help you out with these things. And the dialogue between him and Ethan Hawke, they don't play it for the dumb laughs that I thought they would.
Right.
They actually, there's a lot of clever humor right there, and I really like that. However, and I heard a lot of this when I was walking out of the movie, and I felt like this near the end. I thought like, okay, a lot of people said, it was cool, but I kind of knew where it was going, and the kind of supernatural, the kind of supernatural occurrence that we see here is something that I think is very predictable. And I'm not a whole, and I can't say what it is. I'll tell you guys after we're recording, but I'm not a huge fan of that kind of supernatural element. I'll tell you when we're done.
Yeah, I guess I feel that way also, but part of me goes like, well, when I saw it, I'm like, you know what, this is part that I'm not a fan of, but this is the people who go out to see these movies at midnight, the kids who make these movies number one, this is what they see all the time, and they never get tired of it. They love it. I mean, there has to be some element of give the people what they want. Now, for me, what I really like I like this movie more than I've liked any horror movie in a while, because it paid attention to what I'm always missing. Where
and
there
Carlisle,
was,
and Carlisle did it.
Well, the fact is, like, it gave me a character who I actually gave a shit about. Like, I felt like he was a real character, and he was doing it, for reasons that I could believe in. Like, they wouldn't be my reasons, but for him, it's like, this worked. And there was great dialogue, great interplay back and forth, and it made me laugh and made me get into each character that was there. And just, I like the psychological element of it that's always so often missing from these movies. Like, what's just going on with him and his wife and his family, and like, dude, what are you doing? And all that really pulled me into it. Like most horror movies don't, they leave me cold.
It reminded me of what Stephen King used to do in a lot of his older books, and especially you watch his older movies. It's like you can tell he's taking a piece of his life and putting it into a story to making a character that's so fleshed out and well rounded.
There's good dramatic counterbalance.
That it really does help.
Are you insinuating that the coffee swilling, ugly sweater wearing writer desperate to get famous is some part of Carlisle? Are you suggesting that he based that on
not
himself?
at all, Brian. Why would you say something like that?
Hey, wait a minute.
He sees himself as a Stephen King type.
I thought it was weird when Ethan Hawke kept going, no. Why?
Yeah, he made me laugh when he came out with a baseball cap. Where did that come from?
I thought it was hilarious too when his black friend always called him, and his black friend on the other line was making jokes and laughing, and he wasn't.
I gotta do this.
He's like, I got an investigation. I'll call you later.
Hey, Brian, but we haven't heard a whole lot from you. What do you think?
Well, it's funny. I get what you're saying about the times when it slows down, but for me, the imagery really makes this movie. And every time that it starts to get a little bit slow, it introduces like new nightmarish imagery. I mean, this movie, the things that you see, I mean, that's the stuff bad dreams are made of. Like that's exactly what you want to see in a horror movie, but so often that's not what we get anymore. And what Leon was saying about those kids that go to horror movies, I guess I'm still one of them. This actually gave me more than what I normally expect from a horror film, and I really appreciated that, because it's not just, I mean, there are jump scares, but the scariest part of this movie for me is just the things that it lingers on and the things that you have to keep. What the fuck was that?
I swear, right when you mentioned something, somebody like peeked into the window.
Don't do that shit, man.
Dude, I swear to fucking God.
It's fucking Bagul.
Don't do that shit.
But yeah, no,
it's a black metal guy looking for.
I thought it was supremely scary, and I really, really enjoyed it. There's a lot of great character work, like you guys were saying. I think the writing is really tight, but it's that imagery and that's
what sold it on you. And you know what? I completely agree with you. Watching that movie, the slow burn of it, when those parts came into play, it really was effective. Yeah. My biggest and ultimate complaint about that, though, is that the trailers that they put out right now show every single one of those fucking moments where I wanted to go to Carlisle and go, dude, do you realize every golden thing about this movie?
I tried to tell him that.
It's all in the trailer, all of it.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
And it could, because Leon and I saw this cold. We had no idea. We saw no trailers. We saw nothing of it. And just the fact that you're sitting in a theater and you're enjoying the unraveling of what this is. I mean, I think it actually helped our movie experience.
Right.
And I hate to think that somebody watching these trailers is going to go in, and I don't think they're going to have that same experience.
You know what? I will say this. I saw this after seeing tons of trailers, and like Brian said, nothing in those trailers could prepare me for all the just crazy, creepy imagery I saw in here. I mean, there's a lot of atmosphere in those images. I mean, the music that plays with it.
Yeah, but there's a trailer that shows the opening shot, and to me, so much of that movie is in its opening shot. Mm-hmm. And I don't understand why they think it's appropriate in the marketing to go, oh, this is one of our strongest shots, let's put it in the trailer. Fuck you, put it in the trailer.
I'm going to defend the movie and say that that's not really hurting it. That somebody went in and saw it. It still worked for me. And
it's not a complaint against the movie; it's a complaint against the marketing.
Yeah, but see, I'm just saying it's not ruining anything against the movie. At least for me, it didn't.
Okay. Well,
so to sum it up, it's a balance of a lot of things. And like I said, there's some things that worked for me, some things that didn't. Murray mentioned some of the things that didn't. You mentioned some that didn't. I think there's a lot of jump scares in here that I'm not a big fan of. I never have been really these days, and I really wish I could tell you what part of that supernatural element that was so predictable to me, but whatever.
Yeah.
But again, there's a lot of great dialogue in there, some moments of great drama. Listen, we've seen how many movies that we went to see at midnight, and these movies were supposed to be horror movies, and they were shitty. I mean, we just saw Last House on the Left, and people flocked out to see that, and then
I think people are going to have a really good surprise coming their way.
Yeah, but this works. Yeah, I give it a matinee.
Yeah, I think about like seeing The Possession just recently. Carlos and I went to see that, and I was like, man, this movie's almost there. It's got elements, and yet in the important places, it's just falling through. It's not making it. And this manages to do that. And Brian says it does have that great imagery that you keep hoping you're going to see in these other movies, and it's not there. Now, I will say things that didn't work for me is that, it's a way of getting found footage because it's real found footage. And I go like, okay, that's clever. But after they kept showing me found footage movies, I was like, you know what? Half this is a found footage movie, and I'm kind of not digging it. I mean, it really was like I was really not enjoying that. I'm like, all right, stop watching movies and get back to the main story to Ethan Hawke. And also, without spoiling the end, I can say that the end left me a little flat. It's like, man, this was really building to something, and when it got there, I was like, oh.
That's what I'm saying. I wish I could tell you why.
Yeah, can't go into that. But I will also say that the things I liked about it, I loved about it. I was like, man, you really pulled off some things that I thought these movies just couldn't do. It just wasn't possible. So I'm giving it a high matinee.
All right.
I mean, yeah, I totally get it. And the jump scares bother me, but I feel like they're at least well earned, and it's really just an artistic difference of opinion. Like, I know a lot of people enjoy, I mean, that's what a lot of people think horror movies are, is that you go, it's like going to a haunted house and around every corner something's going to jump out at you. I don't tend to buy into that line of thinking, so really it's just a difference
because
of opinion.
you live that shit. I mean, you're a white person in a haunted house. I mean, come on.
I live
used
in a
to it
fucking
now.
haunted house because I won't leave. Yeah, I got such a good deal on it.
Also leaving before you are. Shit.
We can't make this motherfucker leave.
We just move on in.
Guys, enough with the hate speech. Let
Okay. Sorry. We'll talk about you when you're gone.
Yeah. No, okay.
But while you're here.
No, I just think it's, like I said, it's got some really just imagery that'll stick with you long after you leave the theater. I love the character stuff with Ethan Hawke. And I think this is the perfect movie to kick off the Halloween season. And I feel like this is the time when we should be getting a lot of great horror movies, and we often get whatever they can churn out, Paranormal 4. And so I'm glad that this has at least a little bit of nuance to it, and it at least has something we don't see all the time. So I actually will give this a full price, because especially since it's being released in October, definitely go to the theater in the evening when it's dark out and see this movie.
Oh, for sure.
And it's not one of those movies that's made cheaply just to appeal to teens.
Exactly.
Right.
No, not at all. And that's another one of its strengths. The writing is incredible. Just getting down to the basics of this guy who's really into his work, who's obsessed with his work. I love stories with characters like that, especially when they're getting into situations that they are just not prepared for. And that's what really works. But then again, the material is so strong, the first like 2 parts of the film, that when it gets to the third act, towards the end, it all seems to just kind of stumble and fall apart for me, because the fact that the first 2 parts were so well written that I thought, okay, this just seems like a kind of another cookie kind of predictable ending that left me just disappointed, because you see where this series, where it may eventually go, you know?
Sure.
And I hope it doesn't go that route, because I thought it was smarter than that, but it fell flat for me. And it's something I see with a lot of horror movies sometimes that I really like, that pull me in, only to leave me with a bad taste in my mouth, and it kind of reflects on the rest of the movie after that. But saying that, it is still, like, I definitely think as far as horror films go, it is definitely one of the better ones. It's one of the more well-written ones. And, like, the imagery, you're right, Brian, the imagery is incredible with it. So I'm giving it a matinee. But, I mean, yeah, people, you need to go see it, really.
Yeah, I mean, if you do want to go see something and be scared, this would be that movie that you don't come out of going like, that wasn't scary.
Go
it's like, no,
see Sinister.
I mean,
Sinister.
I never get scared of these things. And there were times I was like, fuck, this is creepy.
Yeah, and the way you pointing outside, Cole. I'm when y'all leave, I'm leaving this motherfucker right with you.
Oh, I don't know. I think I'll just stay here. I mean, it's got a nice TV.
I'm surprised you're still in here now. I'm surprised you didn't go like, all right, guys, hold on. I'm going to go check this out.
I know, right?
What's the matter? What's happened?
Get the kids, pack the car. We have to leave here now.